going on, guys? Today I'm actually going to be switching it up a little bit. I didn't film anything throughout the day. Had a bit of a slow day, rest day, honestly. My body was really hurting, so I didn't get up to go to the gym. I went and taught chess, and then I had my other class, and I came home, and I was supposed to do a little repair on my car and then head over to swim practice, but instead I ended up taking a 3-hour nap. I was very, very tired. It took a lot of willpower to get up out of bed this morning. So what I'm going to do instead is we're going to go over, I'm going to have some slides. I'm going to do a voiceover. We're going to talk about dives. We're going to talk about some different ways you can work on your dive. We're going to look at some film of some diving from some Olympians and talk about what they do. For me, when I first started learning how to dive and started really analyzing technique, I looked at Vladimir Morozov, so that's who we're going to look at today. We're also going to look at Caleb Dressel's start because his start is absolutely incredible. And then I'm going to talk about the tips that I use, talk about how I place my feet, the little tips and tricks that I've learned throughout the years. So let's get to that. So we're going to be looking at Vladimir Morozov's dive here. He is right here with the orange swimsuit. This is the swimmer that I watched a lot when I was trying to figure out how to dive faster and faster, get a quicker reaction speed. Obviously, we're also going to take a look at Caleb Dressel's dive. He has one of the best dives of any swimmer ever. So looking at Morozov, even it's kind of funny to me watching his lead up to the dive. Looks exactly like me when I'm on the blocks nowadays. He has the same sort of demeanor and his stance. It's just kind of funny to see how much of an influence he's been on my diving technique here. So as you can see, as we start this video, he's taking some deep breaths, getting ready. I'm going to stop it right here, or actually right here. You can see, not quite from this angle, but in general, you want to have 2 hands width in between your front and back foot, leading to the little step stool part on the back, or I guess the wedge for the dive. And then you want to have 1 foot width-wise in between your feet. And I'll show you what this looks like with a little graph here in a moment. And you can see when he sets, he's setting almost fully. He doesn't set himself up where he's going to then lean back before his dive. He has his hips up high, and he's getting ready to move all his weight forward, throwing his arms back to get that full amount of momentum. So you can see right there, he sets a tiny little scoot back. This is what many swimmers mess up. They get down on the block, and then when they say take your mark, they pull way back. You only want to go back a little bit, if at all. I usually, when I go down now, I am already set where I'm going to be. The only thing that happens is my legs tense up just a little bit when they say take your mark. We're going to pause it here. See his body position here. He pushes off as hard as he can with that back foot. Front leg still has force it can apply on this jump. Lunging forward, his arms are back because he used it to throw himself forward. Look at the other swimmers. Some of them, they're chicken winging out or their arms are already forward. It's possible they're not getting as much force off the block as they could be using those arms. So watching him here, he's already looking forward. This is something that took me a long time to learn, is that when you come off the block, you don't have to go straight into the water. You want to pull and kind of look up. It brings your chest up a little bit and it allows you to get a nice arching dive into the water. So let's watch what he does here. Let's take that back just a little bit. See how he sights the water, then pulls his head down, arms behind his head, nice tight streamline, legs all the way in, and then dives in. And you can visibly see already, he's a bit ahead of everybody here. And it's just, he has an amazing dive. Let's go to another angle. This is from a skins race during the ISL League's season. It's one of the best angles to watch this. Right there, you can see that one hand width in between his front and back leg, giving him a nice Solid stance. Again, he sets here. Watch this. Again, he sets just a little bit as he's getting ready. See his movement back right there? Take your mark. Moves back just a little bit. So you can see the other swimmer is mimicking. And as he comes off, throws himself forward. See how the dive is almost the exact same each time. Very little changes. There, his entry angle is a little bit worse than the first one, but very little is changing. And there goes that powerful breakout. Let's look at this last angle here real quick. Here we go. See that? Florent Manadou is a much taller man than Morozov here. So that's what we're going to watch this again. As he starts the dive, head up slightly, looking at the water, tucks it in, tight, tight, tight streamline, in. Already slightly ahead of Manadou here. Really impressive dive here. We're going to show that graph right now. So basically, looking at the top of the block, if your feet are here, you want one width, like I said before, in between, and then 2 hand widths lengthwise. And this is my starting point. Obviously, I moved the starting block wedge a little bit further back during the race. So it's a little bit, maybe like 2 hands and a half for that. And going into the start, you want to have your hands wrapped over so you can really throw off the block. A lot of people think of the dive, when they go for their dive, they use their hands as support beams, but they're actually part of how you're generating that force off of the block. So let's go ahead and we're going to look at Dressel real quick. This is a video from his Instagram. And we're going to look at his dive here. Obviously, fastest man in the world. You can see it's same thing here. Although he has his leg a little further back, more in line with his front foot than with one width in between. Hands over the side, thumbs on top. Let's look at this dive here. You can see it's starkly similar. Fast dives are fast dives, guys. So looking at this, he sets a little bit right here, sets, pushes off. Look at how much that block is flexing. He is generating so much force, and you can even see it through his arms here. He's really pulling off the front of that block, siding the water where he wants to go in, hands over the top, tuck in, tight streamline behind the head. I've been noticing this a lot, that the faster and faster dives, they seem to always tuck behind the head. I know they talk about you can streamline over the ears or behind the ears, but for me, at least from what I've been watching, all the fastest dives are tucking behind the ears here. As he enters in, tight, 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 hits those dolphin kicks after his momentum stopped, gets ready for that pullout. Well, he doesn't do a pullout here. This was a dive for distance here. But you can see Dressel sort of brings his arms over the side. It's a little different. Morozov's brings his more in front of himself. We'll show that here. He doesn't come as high up with his arms. It's more of a straight line. And I think that's just up to personal taste, I guess, what you like. One thing I've noticed is that a lot of swimmers will throw their arms over. Let's see if anybody does it in this first clip. You throw your arms over as you come off the block. Let's see. See if anyone does it here. You can see in lane 1. Oh, no. No one does it here. Good. One thing people do, lane 1 looked like he was going to do it. They throw their arms up and over, sort of like a fly recovery, to kind of generate momentum. There is an issue with this dive. It works for relay starts, but you want to bring your arms in reverse. You bring them over and then under. If you bring them over, like you're throwing your body forward, you can actually risk having a shoulder, oh, I hate that word, a shoulder injury from that, because you're really putting a lot of strain on that joint as you throw your arms over with that momentum. You want to bring your arms in front of you, throwing your weight forward, kind of like you're throwing a medicine ball. That's one of the exercises a lot of these swimmers do, is they throw medicine balls at the wall to simulate that forward movement with their hands. Just watch all these swimmers. Up and then forward in front of them. Very similar to throwing a basketball. So last but not least, we're going to go over a quick workout that I do for my starts. Now, best way to work on your start is to just do more starts. So if you're at the pool, just start. Work on every little detail. What I'll often do is I'll go and I'll do my start and I'll focus on one aspect of the start. Where are my feet? Where are my hips, right? Once I get that down to where every single time I'm doing my start, that part is perfect, then I will move on to the next detail. Is my entry perfect? Is my streamline as tight as I want it to be? And sometimes I'll do anywhere from 20 to 40 starts in a session like this, where I'm just trying to get that start perfect, trying to get as off the block as fast as possible. Now, this uses a lot of rest. This is not a very fun workout. You have to take time in between each start so that you can get it perfect each and every time. But I think it really pays off in the end. Now, we're going to go over this workout. This is something you can do in the weight room to kind of help your start. That's what I've been doing a lot recently, is more and more weights. I haven't been swimming nearly as much as I'd like to. I'm going to start picking that up as we move closer to USMS Nationals, like I've said before. So here I've got a little bit of abs right at the beginning of the workout, 30 leg raises, 30 weighted sit-ups. Sometimes when I do those weighted sit-ups, I'll have a medicine ball in my hands, go down, up, and when I come up, I kind of toss it in the air and catch it again. Same thing, down, up, toss the air, catch again, simulating that medicine ball throw I was talking about, or the basketball throw that these swimmers often do. I don't feel comfortable at my gym throwing the basketball, or I could throw a basketball, but throwing the medicine balls. So this is usually what I do to simulate that same hand movement, right? And then do 6 sets of 20 jump lunges. Jump lunges are a great exercise. I'm talking 10 each side for each set. Very fun exercise. You can throw in a lot of squats in between this. Sometimes I'll do the 6 sets of 20 jump lunges with a heavy squat in between each set. Then I've got a 4x4 of heavy squats. Usually for me right now, I'm squatting around 185 on like really heavy days. But every once in a while, I have to go a little lighter than that. That is pretty heavy, especially when you're doing the jump lunges in between, if that's how you do it. Then you've got 6 sets of 20 jump squats. This can be done with a weight vest. That's what I've started doing recently. And then you've got 4x6 power cleans. Power cleans is a great movement for working on your start. Explosive power cleans. You don't want to be, don't give away form. Like, don't lose your form on this, but make sure they're explosive. Then I do 4x8 military press. When I do military press, I go all the way down the floor, bring it up, and then press, right? So that you get that explosion off, almost a clean, almost like a clean and jerk, and then press at the top. Then I do around 4x10 clap push-ups. So 4 sets of 10 clap push-ups. This is, again, working on explosivity. The idea is it's exactly like when you push off the block, you're throwing yourself forward. Another thing you can do here is bent over rows or even cable rows, but try to keep them explosive. Think of pulling with your lats as you come off the block. This is just some great ways to, in the gym, work on your start, get a little bit stronger, a little bit quicker. Another thing you can do is just do sprints, flat out sprints. Go to a soccer field and run across as fast as you can. Anything you can do to aid your explosivity, aid your fast twitch muscles off of the start, really will help your start. And another thing I do sometimes is reaction training. I'll have someone hold a broomstick above my hands, drop it, and then try to bring your hands over and up and catch it. This is a drill I saw Caleb Dressel do. Really works on your reaction speed. Anything you do to work on your reaction speed also helps. Honestly, even playing video games can help you on your reaction speed. Not suggesting you play a ton of video games, but reaction speed is a huge factor when we're talking about our start. Some blocks even measure this, so if you are lucky enough to have a pool where they measure the reaction speed off the blocks, use that. See where you are. See how you stack up against some of the Olympians. I think Caleb Dressel averages about like a 0.54 reaction time off the blocks. My fastest has been 0.53, so I'm right there sometimes, but I have to really anticipate that start when that happens. And you don't want to be in a position where you're really anticipating the start. You just want to work on getting that reaction speed to where it's consistent and you're fast every single time. So that's it for the video today. A little workout you can do, going over some stuff. I was laughing at myself because I went and looked at some old videos of me. I'll put one up at the end here. Me doing starts, and I look so much like Morozov in that first clip. And I didn't realize how much his start had influenced me. I know I had watched it a ton. I'm a big Morozov fan, but it's pretty surprising to see how much you look like another swimmer. So I'll play that video right now. I'm going to say good night. It's kind of late here. I need to get up early tomorrow. Tomorrow I'm going to go for a 205 bench max tomorrow. See what happens. Maybe I'll go 225 if I'm feeling real good. But that's it for today. Y'all have a good night. Enjoy the next clip. Please consider subscribing, going down to the description, donating to the GoFundMe, or even just share the video on any of your social media. It would be a huge help. We're really trying to make this dream possible, really trying to make it to Cali. We're going to Cali officially, but we just would like to make it as easy on us as possible. Any donation helps. Just share the link, share the YouTube video. I'll see you guys in the next video.